Welcome to LVLS Plays, my clever way of doing LP. We're going to be doing elevator action returns today. This is one of my absolute favorite games. I'm actually going to spend a little bit of time recording the top 111 piece for this at the same time. But for this video, launching a brand new sub-series of content on this YouTube channel, I'm going to be playing through the arcade original, and then I'm going to play through the Saturn port of the S Tribute that just came out on the Switch. So let's go ahead and switch the camera over to the Egret, which is showing off Clack and Pop, one of my least favorite Taito games. Okay, so welcome to Elevator Action Returns via the Egret 2 Mini. I'll be playing both of these with the same character. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just do my save here. So I'm going to be playing as Edie, the gun expert. And we're going to have a grand time. This is such a fantastic game. I absolutely adore every second of it. The Egret 2 has a few options for this game. So there's a violence option, so there will be some blood that will be popping up in this that might not normally appear. So these blue doors hide things. They can have life pickups, grenade pickups, or points. And you can aim up, you can shoot upwards, you can crouch. I've got auto fire as a button option, so I've kind of got that set up. You can time your shots up like that. That camera, if you look down just a little bit below, you can see there's a camera there. So you can drop that on the enemy's heads. I missed them both. But the goal is to get into these red doors. And once you do that, you will get the objectives completed. So these barrels can be shot. You'll get bonus points if you do that. There's also these high-powered weapons. Don't want to get crushed by the elevator. L is launcher, which is a rocket launcher. Very powerful. And the machine gun is also very good. It's just basically a faster version of the pistol. And we have this really cool cutscene that just kind of happens naturally. That's Red Suit, the main antagonist. Oh, see, here's the thing with elevator action returns. You can fall if you don't press the jump button in time, and my button press just was a second too late. These guys with no shirts, they're kind of like mutations. So they take a lot to go down. They take about 2 shots. So they'll get right back up if you don't take care of them. But you can also fight with melee, which is helpful. You get points for doing that. So I need to get here. You can dash, which gives you some mobility and lets you jump a little bit farther. You can actually jump over that if you time it well. Alright, took a little bit of damage there. You can also jump into enemies. I just haven't done that yet. But that can be helpful in dealing with crowds. So I'll do that here. basically counts as a bullet shot. So it's honestly a little bit better to actually do the melee attack versus the jump, but if you're in a hurry, you can just knock them out real quick. So I got the plans of Red Suit. That was what I was hunting down. So now we have discovered that there are nuclear bombs that set all across the nation. And so we have to go defuse them. But just look at this action. Let's crash the helicopter into the airport. That's how desperate of a situation this is. We don't have time to wait. We don't have time to park our car. Alright, so these guys in the hazmat suits, they can jump. Among other things. So we've defused one bomb. Oh, we've got robots. There's mines now, too. And then these red containers, if you blow them up, they actually do have goodies inside them. And apparently the robots do sometimes, too. A little off there. I've played this game enough, I know where the enemies are. Alright, so we're going to have a little standoff here. So, there's also grenades that you can toss. And Eevee's got one of the best ones in my opinion. Because they last for quite a while. And they do a lot of damage. Work great on these little jetpack guys. Or otherwise a bit annoying. But you can just like knock out so many of them with these grenades. Alright. That was a really well placed melee attack on my part. This is Darius Airlines, which I think is just a really cute touch. Alright, so I'm going to have a bit of a showdown in here. Go ahead and help myself by covering myself on this side. Now at this point, okay, so free of the plane. Oh, just jumped right into that shot. Rude. Alright, so our other bomb is over in the corner, but I also got shot by the mech, so we're gonna head over there now. Fun. We'll have a little bit of fun over there, just knocking everything out. Yeah, those guys take quite a few hits. But I will save my bombs for the future. Now you can't shoot while you jump. That is an important distinction that needs to be made. Alright, that worked out great. The nice thing is that the fire doesn't hurt you, it only hurts the enemies, so that's a nice little concession. Alright, I need to get here, and this stage is done. So, red suit once again. So while we were able to stop his bomb threat, we weren't able to catch him. So now we're going to move to a new area. This starts in the sewers, and we work our way up, if I recall correctly. Or like the basement, perhaps. Yeah, so we get delivered. So now we're in the basement of what looks like a mall. So this would be bad. Okay, so there's some life over there, which I don't currently need. But there's a lot of it just dropped off right there. Okay, so that's one bomb defused. I'm gonna have to wait for the elevator to come back down, which is honestly, if there's one critique in this game, it's probably that. Is that it can have a fair amount of waiting. So if you are not the patient type, this can get a little obnoxious, waiting for the game to actually allow you to continue forward. But I don't mind it, personally. I think that it's just, they managed to keep things interesting. Like, I knocked out the power. Enemies still come at you, so it's not like you're just sitting there with nothing to do. We'll go ahead and get this bonus door. Now, these bonus doors are nice, too, because if you're getting stuck in a really strong firefight situation, you can duck in there and you won't take any damage, which is helpful. Okay, so this is going to take us into the mall proper. And it's going to get a bit hairy here. Let that barrel take care of the work for me. And I should have a bad time. Okay. I need to take that shot. Okay, I'll take the machine gun this time so I can show that off. It's basically just a faster version of your pistol. Getting shot at. Unfortunately, so it's going to be a death. This is a two-player game, and that was definitely one of those situations where having two players would prove very, very helpful. Another cool thing is that if a barrel rolls into an elevator, the fire goes into the elevator and it moves, so it doesn't just stay there. Alright, so the enemies are getting a bit smarter. They're ducking or lying flat on the ground, which is making it hard for me to deal with them. Alright, so I'm going to hide in here while that spins. And jump over. I got crushed by the elevator, which is very convenient. Okay, there's a turret over there, so I'm going to have to watch out for it. Get up to the top here. Oh, I got crushed. There I am. It's like, where did I start from? That was an interesting situation, because it wants me to go here, and I just took the longer route. So I didn't want to deal with that turret, because I can't deal with it in terms of stopping it in any way. Alright, so this guy brings it down. We're going to punch this guy in the head. Alright, so I got some food. That's helpful. Okay, so we're now out of the mall. Making our way through the rafters. We'll get more life. good to control. I absolutely love this game so much. So great that it's available in such a way these days that you can just play it on the Egret, which is the more expensive route of playing it, or you can get the S-Tribute version, which I have heard pretty good things about the Saturn port. Okay, apparently I'm gonna have to... Oh, I missed a door. I was so distracted by the turrets that I totally didn't pay attention to the fact that there was a red door there. Okay, let's go deal with the red door. That should be the last one. I don't have to deal with any bad guys, but there is a little bit of another one of those rush down situations here at the end.
This way, quick.
Okay, so this is where our bombs are going to come in handy. Okay, so let me go ahead and jump back in. That's my first continue. These guys just kind of suck. But now that there's only two of them, they're a little bit easier to deal with. And I got bombed again. Okay, that's that level. This game is just gorgeous, though. I mean, the skyline is really pretty. Background. All of these areas just look fantastic. They just really look like they're lived spaces that have been taken over by this terrorist organization. Okay, so here's the sewer level. So it starts here and jump down after those guys. Blow that up because of course I would. Let's go ahead and get this bonus since it's right there. So I got extra bombs. That'll be helpful. Keep trying to get that thing to work, but it just doesn't quite do it. So, since I know that there's guys there, I'm gonna go ahead and just... So ducking makes the fire go a little bit less far. And I like the fact that there's like guys here that are like genuinely not wanting to be involved in this. Which is true. I mean, like I said, these are lived spaces. There's a guy just hiding over there that just does not want to be in this situation. So I will do what I can to keep him safe. And now we've got riot shield guys who work best to... You have to kind of catch them when they're not blocking your shots, or use melee on them. So this is when the jump kind of comes a little bit more in handy. Alright, let's see if I can get a life bonus. I did. Bomb room. Alright, there's a power up over here. So I'm going to grab the machine gun. Alright, so those are mines. They've gone off a couple times since I've been playing this. but I don't think there was a really good visual of them all. But that's another thing you got to be paying attention to. And now we've got these really annoying crafts that can show up. Oh, I got crushed by the elevator. Always a threat in elevator action. The elevators themselves. And this is just a terrible spot to have that happen. Okay, so we've got a couple more baddies up there, so I think I will...
Enemy reinforcements have arrived.
Drop the bomb. I should cover my back in case something tries to sneak around me. Knock out those guys. Door number 3. Yeah, the platforming here can get a little bit slippery because there's just not a whole lot of ground to cover. Bomb. Nice. You just gotta be careful. Alright, so we've got this guy kind of just being a jerk. I'll just use that opportunity. Okay, that should be all of the bombs. There's a bunch of bonuses down here. I'll take those. Drop just about everything. Okay. I have picked up the last bomb, so the level is done in this case. Doing good. I love these completed shots too. I think that they really add a lot to the personalities of everybody. Mission 5, we are on an offshore drilling rig. Again, just incredible visuals. I'm just going to stand here for a second since the enemies probably won't rush me immediately. So you can just kind of see, like, even Edie has an idle animation where she brushes her hair. And it's just like, Taito didn't need to go to that extent for an idle animation in an arcade action game where you barely have that time to even stop. But they did it anyway. I haven't talked much about the music, probably because I'm not hearing it, but I really like the soundtrack to this game. I think it's one of Zuntata's just most perfect soundtracks for the game that it's all about, because it's just like... the jazzy score just kind of works for this game. So that's the last door. Point. Oh, just for funsies. I can actually shoot that barrel. Okay. Fair enough. Ooh, that was a lucky situation for me. Yeah, this is one of those games that sometimes just jumping pays off. Jumping into the fray against bad guys. In that case, I hit the jump button. I didn't mean to. And then the elevators start getting interesting, because then there's just like this type of situation going on. Where you have a whole bunch of them all at once. So you need all of them to do something. still shooting when I push the jump button. And it's not allowed. Okay, I'm gonna jump here. Pinned in a really bad spot. Few of you. You guys over there. Here before. Too late. Alright, so there's a launcher. Pick that up, that will be useful. And I can shoot underneath these guys, which I don't think I realized I could do until just now. I had some invincibility frames, so might as well take advantage of that. Okay, so there's electricity going on here, but I think that takes care of that. Oops. You know, the fun thing about doing LPs like this is that I'm not used to talking this much when I play games these days. So, it's kind of throwing me off a little bit. So I'm like just enjoying the scenery or the ability to talk to you. So those guys now have flamethrowers. So yeah, I love the fact that the enemies adapt. They're not just static. And I can't do anything about that turret, so I kind of have to watch my head. I'll just duck for a minute. Because, like, even the explosion just now just did not even phase the turret. Alright, I gotta jump. Alright, let's get through all these. Jump on that. You can mess with that guy who's trying to go to the bathroom. I will not do that. I'll be nice. There's probably some goodies up there, and then this should be the last bomb. So we're now starting to get the suave spies that show up. They take quite a few hits, but just look at the bravado as they walk. They are so cocky. And I think what I'll do is I'll just toss a bomb over there. Second credit. Never said I was the world's greatest elevator action returns player, even if I am one of its biggest fans. But like, I like this detail of like the gear in the background for the drill. I just barely survived that. This is a bad situation. Calm people down. Yeah, it can get a little bananas. Oh, it's looking right off the edge. And I'm invincible, so I'll take advantage of those iframes. This robot will deal with the spy. Oh, too late. Some more electricity that we got to deal with. There's Red Suit. Just saw him. That's a nice little detail that you might miss. Of course, I get shot in the back and I have to redo these last 2 layers. Alright. Level done. That is definitely the most challenging of the maps, I think, in the game. That one just has a lot going on. So now we are now at the last stage. Red Suit's base. Beautiful sunset. This is a pretty hard stage too, but I feel like the oil rig is always the one that I run into the most problems with. Alright, let's just make my life slightly easier. But yeah, this game is just wants you to shoot things in the background. It wants you to interact with it, which is the thing I love so much about it. Red door. So this way. That just got me right in the back of the head. Can I go through this way? Yes, I can. Well, that guy got me. So we will try that again. And I have it again. Yeah, like everything's just so well animated in this game. It's really just gorgeous to watch. Thankfully, the lightning does take out the enemies. Which is just another reason why I like this game. It considers that type of stuff. It's not just affecting you. Alright, let's go ahead and get over there. We are in the final countdown. Wait for this elevator. I forgot that enemies were going to show up. There's a lot to do. There's a gazillion mines to dodge. Okay, so I gotta get up. Up. At this stage, you just kind of want to like plow through everything because you only got so much time here with the bad. As I said before, the elevators aren't always playing nice with you. Okay, we're almost there. Dang it. slipped right off of it. Come on. Come on, man. Step on the elevator. Oh, that was weird. Alright, and that is Elevator Action Returns. It seems weird. I got the good ending, I think. You have to defeat Red Suit and you have to shoot the panel behind him in time. Which I believe I did, because this is what I usually see. But this is just a spectacular game. I absolutely love Elevator Action Returns. I had so much fun playing through it again. This is like the third time this year I have played this game since I've gotten the Egret. Just a phenomenally good game. We'll go ahead and let the credits roll so we can give Taito their due. All these wonderful developers that created this masterpiece of a cult classic. I'm so excited that this is a game that people can now play anytime they want to. All I have to do is pick it up for, right now it's on sale for a little bit since it's its first week as the S Tribute version. And you can have one of the best arcade experiences of all time in your hands. It's quite an awesome thing. If there's some sort of physical release of the S Tribute, I would definitely get it. Alright, well, we have successfully elevator actioned in its original format. Didn't quite get over 4,000 points, or 400,000 points, so I'm not bad this time. I did a little bit better last time I played it. The cool thing about the Egret is that it does have suspend mode, so I'm going to just go ahead and save so I can kind of keep my records. And we're going to switch over to the Switch. Here we are with the Switch. There it is. On my Switch, Elevator Action Returns. Never thought I'd see the day. I have not booted this up at all yet. I kind of wanted to see... have a live reaction about this port and all of that with this video. So, since I didn't get to the intro last time, I'll go ahead and let it run in the Saturn version, because it's one of my favorite intros. So Ving ported this game originally onto the Saturn. Yeah, this intro is actually pretty comparable to what I recollect of the arcade one, which is just fantastic. Alright, well, that's the intro. So, for the S Tribute line of games that they've done with Taito so far, which includes Layer Assault Galactic Attack, I forget what they called it, which is basically Ray Force, as well as Cleopatra Fortune in this game. You just click minus and you get a whole bunch of these other options. So you can quick save and load. There's screen settings, so we can have a large, a normal screen, scan lines on if we want it. Some contrast, which I'll just leave as it is. I'm going to turn the anti-aliasing off because I like the pixels. So we've got a few wallpaper options. Unfortunately, Jad seems to be kind of ignored. He doesn't have his own. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it black. Well, yeah, I'll put Edie up there because she's my favorite. The HUD display is those options on the side. And button config, you can kind of goof around with the buttons a little bit. So what I'm going to do is put a sub-weapon button on, and I'm going to make the shot shoot a little bit faster. You do have some flexibility with that. And then I'll have a regular shot just on X. And then, let's see, slow is just pushing the right stick in. So I guess if I want to rewind, I'll put a rewind on one of the, put rewind here. So yes, you can rewind this version, so if you are really unhappy with the situation, you can just go back in time. We've got a few language options. Extra options. Continues can be normal or infinite. We'll go ahead and put it on infinite. There's a different degree of damage. We'll put it on low damage since I'm just kind of goofing around. If you want to keep the weapon that you currently have, so if you would pick up the machine gun or the launcher, you can choose to keep that on. This lets you pick whatever side, and this gives you a stage select, which is pretty cool. So if you want to jump to any of the stages in particular, you can do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and go through. And then this game also has an unlockable arcade port of the original elevator Action. So if you select old on the title screen, you'll be able to do that. You don't have to unlock it like you did in the original version of the game. Okay. So here's the options here. We'll go ahead and put violence mode on hard. And we'll put it on easy here as well. You can listen to the music. And we'll increase my player stock to 4. And the grenades can stay at 20, which is more than usual. I think that's because it's on easy mode. I don't know necessarily what record means. But we'll go ahead and leave that as is. So let's just dive in. Let's see how this goes. So, slight compromise in the visuals. Very slight. And they've added this cute little load screen. That's nice. I don't know if those sprites actually exist in the core game itself. I'll have to goof around, I guess, next time. But here we are. Edie seems a little faster. And then sub-weapon button. Alright, so there's already a bunch of guys. I'm just going to focus on the task at hand. That guy took that to the knee like a champ. Okay, well, the dog doesn't seem to get hit as easily with the melee attack. It could have just been because it spawned right on top of me. Alright, so there's the launcher. Pick that up. This, overall, is really good. I have heard really good things about the Saturn port. I will say that it looks like it's animated just a touch quicker, because I don't remember Edie moving quite this fast. So it might just have a slightly faster frame rate, or just the way that the game was ported, the animation frames are a little bit faster. But, like, this looks good. Okay, so I did it perfectly last time, so you can see that it's not as easy as I made it look. Oops. Getting my buttons mixed up because I'm using a different controller. Sure, I'll take some bonus points. Alright, this level's done. So yeah, just generally speaking, this looks to be a very good port that has very subtle differences in how it works and how it looks. It might be a little bit faster in terms of, like I said, the FPS seems a touch faster. This version also has a slow mode. So if you wanted to really admire the animation detail or just slow the game down and more hectic moments, you can do that in this version of the game, which is definitely going to make it feel a lot faster. Than the original. But yeah, the violence mode, turning it to hard, apparently does about the same thing. I would rather have the launcher. The machine gun's fun, but... Yeah, and the text is a little bit harder to read. Just a little bit. Food. But this is definitely, I think, the more accessible way to play this game. Because it just has a lot more options. Now, one thing I did just notice is that my grenades just totally flew off the side of the stage. And it doesn't do that in the arcade version. So I can't, like, spam fire as much as I would have. In the arcade version of the game. Alright, so this is Darius. But honestly, like, if I literally didn't just play the arcade version right before this, I don't think I would really be complaining. I don't think that I would have any reason to complain, because it's essentially the same game. But generally speaking, this is a fantastic port that in every other way, beyond a couple little gameplay things and the graphics looking just a tiny bit worse. Tiny bit worse. Like, again, if I was not coming into this right after playing the arcade game, I wouldn't have any real critique about the visuals at all. Sometimes there's goodies over here. Apparently not today. Maybe if I had a bomb. That's really obnoxious. But yeah, it plays just about as well. All right, let's jump. Down there. Okay. It's 2 levels done. Yeah, I'm just glad that Ving really just nailed the mood of this game. But in terms of like emulation, that I don't know if the speed is an emulation thing. We'll have to do a sound check, I guess, after the fact, because I'm not gonna know. Okay, well, there's some interesting glitches with the elevators, which I wonder if is an easy mode thing about not falling to your death. Let's test that. Okay, so I did fall to my death there. Something weird happened in that last situation. You know, I scripted all these buttons, but they are just not where I'm wanting them to be, I guess, because I keep guessing the wrong one when it comes to the grenades. There definitely seems to be a little bit of interesting stuff going on with the elevators. Like, I'm able to slide into or not die in ways that I don't recall having experienced before. But again, I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I just think that is just a quirk about the port that is otherwise really good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and blow this up and see what's in there. Really take care of that guy. But yeah, I could see like here the mall is not quite as nice. I love these shotgun guys because they're really scaredy cats. They have a shotgun, so they think that they're these badass, but I dashed after him and he started running off, which is hilarious. There's just so much character in this game. Alright, so we'll pick up the launcher. It's kind of hard to not take a lot of damage in that scenario as a one player. But yeah, the fact that your jump is invincible to most things other than bullets is really helpful. It even took out these guys who usually take 2 hits minimum. But yeah, this is incredibly responsive. Dumb turret. I hate these turrets. Okay, that health is too tempting to ignore. Alright. Taking a different way into this door this time, because it got weird last time. Life is certainly not an issue at this point. yeah, this feels really good. I've always, like, the Saturn version of this game is just something that, for the longest time, was, like, off the table because of its expensive value. I mean, because this game has developed such a cult following, it just kind of commands a really high resale value, and since it only came out in Japan, it really just was like, I don't want, like, I can't play this, I don't have a Saturn. Alright. There's, like, the strategy is not bad. It just is not perfect. It would work better if I had somebody else to play this with. And these guys have invincibility frames, which is kind of... It's kind of terrible, because they're annoying. Alright, one down. Alright. I'm doing slightly better in this version. It could be because I'm a little bit more familiar with it, because it's pretty much identical gameplay-wise. I haven't burned a credit quite yet. My mistakes. I'm not going to get a whole bunch of shots taken off from those guys. Yeah, this I'm pretty impressed by this port. Because I really feel like it's done what it needed to do. It basically captured how great this game is on hardware that could actually more or less handle it. It's not as nice looking as the original arcade game, but it is good enough. Oops. Oops. It is very passable, and if I was not literally just coming off of playing the arcade, I think I would be having a lot less to say about visual differences. You know, that's a really good touch, actually, and I do want to point that out, that if you get shot while you're in the air, you have a unique animation. Which I think is really cool. Alright, I've got the machine gun. Which actually works. So, my introduction to this game came... Oops, I apparently did not miss the elevator. Came when I got Taito Legends 2 on the PS2. Which was not the best way to play this game. I turned around on mistake. Oh, I threw a lot less mines out that time, so that's good. The machine gun power-up didn't even work in that version, and there was some other stuff that just wasn't ideal about it. But despite that, I fell in love with this game anyway. I think it is just one of the best overall action games I've ever played, because it just gives you so much variety in how you can do everything. This one actually seems to be a bit nicer as well, that you don't just like immediately seem to dive right off. Except there. So there's my first. I'm gonna switch to cart for a minute because I want to see if the loading screen changes. So cart's actually the fastest in terms of movement. So he's got a very wide jump in contrast to everyone else, and everyone has their own bomb. But his gun is not as strong as Edie's. So he's got the best dash, he's got the best jump. But he is the speedster. And it's just really nice that Taito decided not to make Edie, the one woman of the team, the fast one. She's actually the best with her gun. I think that's fantastic. More games need to do that. It's getting better, but... Okay, good. They do change. That's great. Although it looks like Cart has a lot less idle animations than Edie did that they could pull from. Alright. So here we are with Cart in the 5th mission. Yeah, he just doesn't shoot as fast, and it's still the same frame rate, or the same shots per second, as they called it, in the menu options. So I could have selected 30 or 5, and I went with 5. Or the default, which is just one at a time. Oops. I'm trying to remember if those were electric in last time. I guess I just didn't notice because I slipped through it so fast. Yeah, he just hustles. So his grenade is useful to clear out wide areas quickly. So like in those situations where you're trying to deal with... Oh, this is going to take forever. With those jetpack guys, it's going to take a long time for you to deal with them in contrast, because you're going to have to shoot most of them, or just get lucky. Nope. He's got a wide jump, but it's not that wide. Jumped right into that. I think one of the things that this game actually does extremely well is because of the elevator tension. They keep throwing bad guys at you. I think that works extremely well in reducing that awkward, like, I'm just standing around. Because you're not, really. Oops. I got electrocuted. which I think was the best decision that they honestly made with this game, because otherwise it would be very boring, just waiting for elevators if the enemies just didn't keep coming at you. Here. Alright, so we got turrets. I got really hammered on that one. But like, Cart's got so much like bravado in his walk. I'll go ahead and take that. I'll take that elevator kill. I don't get them too often. But it really just shows how versatile this game is. That there's just so many different ways that you can make this game work for you. Like, it's not gonna work every time for everybody, but it works really well for like Cart to just be running around like this and use that agility to throw his body at people. The other character, Jad the Taff, he can literally run into people because he's the tank of the group. I didn't quite realize it until it was too late. You both took that like a champ. Okay, I got in the door this time. Okay. Cart is successfully doing the missions. But you can see how the play style is different when compared to Edie, where I was not jumping into characters as much, because Edie doesn't have that range. She just can't go flying around all the time. So we'll see if I get a different ending this time, because I'll be able to move a little bit faster with the Cart than I was with Edie. My health is garbage at the moment, though, so anyone's guess, really. It's cute that the enemies didn't actually start showing up until I triggered the camera. That guy just shot me right in the head, so I'm gonna just need to be a little bit more cautious on this side, because I think I'll be safe. Otherwise. And I don't want to get crushed by the elevator, but I got electrocuted. I love this game. No. I just opened the door and snuck up right behind me. Pretty good at just randomly throwing grenades because I accidentally keep tapping that button instead of my shoot button. Probably should have reconfigured the controls a bit more. But the fun thing is I'm still having fun, so it doesn't even matter. This guy is being an absolute piece of garbage. Okay. Just jumped right into that. I'll take that health. These electrical panels are just giving me problems. Okay, let's get out of here. Permanently stuck in this decision. Okay. That works. I'll take that. I'm kind of just running anyway. To how she operates. Alright, let's get up there and let's stop this guy. That actually is exactly where I wanted to do that. Oh, nope, I slipped off the platform. I really wish my controller would quit flipping me around. There, I think I did it. I don't know. We'll find out once we get to the end. I was a couple minutes faster this time. I'm going to give that to Cart, because I was able to just zoom around with him a lot easier. But yeah, the D-pad on the Switch Pro controller was constantly twitching me to the left in that final fight there, which was kind of annoying. But hey, I did a little bit better. Granted, this was on easy, so it was a little bit easier to kind of breeze through it. Oh, many other people. Alright, and here's the Saturn version staff. So I wonder how much further it's going to pan out. I think this is kind of what Ving did, is they did some Saturn ports. I don't believe they're around anymore. Okay, so I've unlocked the ability to play elevator action the legit way. Let's see how I did point-wise here. Good! I did good. Apparently that's just the top rating. Alright, well that's elevator action returns via the Saturn port via S-Tribute. Thank you, City Connection, for bringing this wonderful game to consoles. Just for funsies, let's just glance at old. Let's visit where this entire enterprise came from for just a couple minutes. So the original elevator action has a very different vibe. It's definitely more of a James Bond vibe. I'm not going to worry about the options. But it's also really charming in its own way, like our hero here having that really cute scoot animation. But unlike Elevator Action Returns, you don't have a life bar. So if you get shot, that's it. But you can shoot the lights out like you can in the other game. You can jump into bad guys. You can shoot the lights down. I mean, you only shoot 3 bullets at a time. And once we get to a red door... And another thing about Elevator Action 1 is that when you duck, you have to actually press up to get out of it. Which is a little disorienting at first. But yeah, you go into a door and you are safe. And then there's a cute animation of you actually holding the document for a couple minutes. But it's definitely not my preferred way to play this game. Alright, let's go ahead and jump back into the intro here. So, I hope you enjoyed checking out Elevator Action Returns with me. I think this is one of the greatest games ever made. It's been in my top 15. Honestly, there's times I think it should be in my top 10. I just think that in terms of arcade action, nothing tops this game. It is just superb on every level, and it is so much fun. And I hope this video proves useful not just for seeing if it's worth it to you, but the differences between the two. That was the primary reason I wanted to record this episode the way I did, was to show off the Saturn port in contrast to the arcade one, side by side, so to speak. To just make it really easy for people to go, okay, this looks like it's almost unchanged outside of a very minor graphical downgrade and a couple gameplay tweaks that in some cases work well, in some cases are a little annoying for people familiar with the game otherwise. But spectacular game. Absolutely love it. I'm so glad that it's available for people to play. And here's what 2-player looks like. Thank you, demo. Hope you enjoyed this first episode of LVLS Plus Plays. The next one I'm thinking about doing is Mega Man 3. I will not play through all of Mega Man 3 multiple times, but I would like to play Mega Man 3 through in the near future, and I think that would be a pretty fun one to talk about, because that's the game that got me into being a fan of games. So I think that it will be kind of fun to do that. Don't know when that'll happen, but it'll be soonish. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure, and I will see you soon. Take care.